Hey lab rats, welcome to the Metal Lab studio. And tonight we're joined by vocalist Sam Curtin from UK hardcore band Own Your Life. Hi Sam.
How you doing? You good?
Not too bad. Can you give everyone a brief summary of yourself and obviously the band?
Right, so we're Own Your Life from Sidney, it's in Cambridgeshire. Started about 5 years ago. Just writing stuff we like, stuff we enjoy, and then started playing out. Yeah, here we are. We've done an EP and a single and writing another EP. So yeah.
Cool. So we're going to talk a little bit about the evolution of hardcore over the last 5 years, UK hardcore. So
yeah,
if you take yourself back 5 years ago and the scene then, and then fast forward to this year, how do you think the scene's grown and the fan base has grown? Why do you think it's got a lot more popular?
I don't know. I think it's definitely like the Ruction Crew and stuff like that. That like Pierre and stuff. Them bands coming out of London, and then Street Soldier and Vendetta and stuff.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of bands that have come up rose like quite quickly in our UK scene. So yeah, it's pretty cool actually. The way it's getting bigger.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of difference. I mean, my first ever sort of hardcore gig, it weren't really, it was like in a little small unit, and then obviously it's just grown, hasn't it? Some of the local hardcore gigs have been sold out, and it's just gone from, it's gone from strength to strength. So let's talk about the single, Us.
Yeah.
What's that? What's the meaning behind that?
Us. It kind of, this is like it's about the voices and stuff in your head, or the feelings, like the things that telling you to do stuff, like stuff you're battling, your vices, like everything you're trying to hold back that you are wrong or whatever. But it's like accepting it and dealing with it as well, and like living with it and being strong enough to fight it and live with it. That's basically it, really.
Quite relevant, really, to what everyone's thinking as well.
Yeah. I mean, especially now, like. I mean,
obviously with the new single. So are we going to have a new album? You got any exclusive sort of snippets for the Metal Lab?
Well, first we did plan to do an album, but then we're going to do an EP. It's sort of half done, and due to this latest lockdown and stuff, we've had to put it on pause yet again. But we're hoping it's going to be out literally 3 months max, if depending on how COVID goes and all of that. So it's just a waiting game now, really. And as soon as we're able to, we're back on it and it'll be out.
How's the COVID affecting you actually recording? Are you doing a lot of streaming, or is it actually?
No, it's just getting in a studio and doing the proper recording of the guitars and stuff. That's what we're waiting to do now.
Cool.
I've already done some vocals, so it's sort of half done.
So what bands are you listening to at the moment yourself? Anything out there? It's really sort of.
Do you know what? I can't get enough of the latest Madball album. For the cause, that's just like, it's like back to their roots. That album, it's got that punky vibe back, and it's cool. What else? I've been going old school recently, like Sepultura, like Chaos AD, and Justice for All, Metallica. Like going really old, like old fresh. Like I just can't get enough of it at the minute.
I mean, the new single, it seems to have a little bit of a black metal element in it as well. So that's something you sort of consciously wanted to do in this album.
Well, I think as Chris, our main guitarist, he's heavily into black metal, so that's where that influence comes from. And I definitely think with his influence, we've got our own sound and our own vibe. There is a hint of black metal. There's a hint of hardcore. There's a hint of punk. Like it's all rolled into one sort of thing. But yeah, there's definitely more of that to come.
Yeah, so definitely more mature, grown-up sound from the first EP.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you've had a few band lineup changes over the years.
Yeah.
So you think this is it now? This is a solid foundation to take the band to that next level?
Yeah, I think we're nearly there, definitely. We are as solid as we can be at the moment, I think. But yeah, it's just everything's on pause at the moment, isn't it? So like, it's when we get back to it, you got to dust it off a little bit, you know, and get back to where you was. So yeah.
So at the end of 2019, that was a cracking year for you guys. You were touring all over the country. You know, you were getting on gigs everywhere. How did that feel? Did that was that sort of star moment for you, thinking, yeah, you know, this is really working for us?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we were sort of starting to build up a decent fan base, so people were coming specifically to see us and stuff, and that's a really good feeling. You know, people have gone out their way to come see us. But like, yeah, and we were every 2-3 gigs a month at one point, and then
Yeah, you were, yeah.
it's yeah, and
Great
then obviously. But yeah, it's amazing. It's a wicked feeling, like knowing people like want to come and see you. You know.
Exactly, because you were that band that was sort of the support band all the time, you know, never the
Yeah,
headliners. You know what I mean? So it was
yeah,
nice to see you actually getting out there and doing a few
yeah,
headline
yeah,
shows.
yeah. That's it. Yeah, we built it up, and then yeah, it was rolling really well.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was really cool. So you done your first hometown gig at St Neots, which obviously
Yeah, yeah,
we tried to promote and sponsor at the Metal Lab. How did that
yeah.
feel? I mean, I thought the turnout was it was a cracking night, some great bands, you know, it was a really good night.
That well, that was the last gig we actually played before lockdown and all the COVID had hit. So that and it was amazing. Like loads of people came out, and I
Yeah,
didn't expect half that amount of people. It was great. Yeah, actually, and like that particular venue at the rugby club, we had a scene there like 10, 15 years ago, and
wow,
it felt like it was real nostalgic like that, you know. It was really good. Yeah, yeah, I loved it.
cool. It was an amazing night, and there's some cracking bands as well. Really
Yeah,
was good selection of bands, different sort of sounding. It was nice to see a
yeah,
local band there as well. I think Crank were a local band, weren't they?
yes, yeah,
Yeah, they're really good guys as well. It's nice to see
yeah,
that
good
sort of,
lads.
yeah, really cool. So for someone who's just experienced metal for the first time growing up, what sort of stuff would you introduce them to in this modern day?
um wow, that's a tough one.
Hmm.
Do you know what? I'd probably go with the band that first made me fall in love with hardcore and the whole way of life, and that's Sick of It All.
Cool.
Pick up any Sick of It All album and you ain't gonna go wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So was that the first album that really got you into metal then? Was that like
First, yeah, it was Sick of It All live in a world full of hate. It was a live album. The first song on there is Injustice System, and that just like blew my mind, and that was it. I was hooked. Yeah.
cool. So do you remember your first ever gig that you went to? What was the first ever one you went
Yes.
to? What was that?
Yeah, I do actually. I must have been about 16. It was Deconstruction 2 at the Isle of Dogs in London. Like it was a massive ice rink,
Cool.
and it was stacked lineup. Like first gig, first lineup is like band after band after band. Like Sick of It All played that. Boy Sets Fire. I can't remember who else.
Mm.
that was insane. Like there was a bottle fight at one point, and literally you looked up in the air, and there was like thousands of bottles up in the air at any one time. It was
Right.
it was amazing for a first gig to see that, to go and experience something like that. It was wicked. Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant.
So obviously you lot, I mean, I know you guys quite well, and you're all a bunch of like jokers and stuff, and you travel all over the country. So
Yeah,
what's your most memorable gig journey?
gig
What's the most,
journey.
yeah,
Yeah, that was on the way home from Guildford, and actually on the way there for Vendetta went absolutely tits up as well. It was Guildford. I can't remember the venue now. But Tom ripped the bottom of his sump off on the way down there, and then on the way back, I took everyone back in my van, and then ran out of fuel up the M1, because we thought there'd be a fuel station up there, but there wasn't one for miles, and I had to walk, run in the pissing rain with Edgy, our guitarist, to go and get a jerry can full of diesel at 1 o'clock in the morning. Sunday as well. I'd work in the morning. It was fucking, yeah. That was not cool. But that is definitely the most memorable. But we made it home. Everyone got home by like 3 o'clock in the morning. So
all ready for work at 6, yeah?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is crazy. So what kind of stuff do you do on tour then? Are you sort of more of the laid back sort of chilled out guy, or are you the stressed out guy, or
Um, I think I'm a stressed out guy
yeah,
because I
when
don't
it
like
makes
being late, and I like everything to be right. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? I do most of the driving as well, so yeah, I just
right,
like to be like. But once you're there, it's all good, you know.
cool, awesome. So for someone who's never heard of Own Your Life for the first
Yeah.
time, how would you describe that you sound? So
Uh,
if you were like selling the band, how would you know what would you say to someone
I
who's
would
never heard?
say, um, think of hate breed mixed with raised fist,
Hmm.
and a hint of death metal. I think that's a good analogy.
Yeah, definitely. That's quite cool. Yeah. So let's go back to the first time you ever gigged. Okay, can you
Yeah.
remember the first venue you ever gigged at?
Yes, that was the Corner House in Cambridge. That was, well-known pub for music. But yeah, that was great. We had a good turnout. That was with Vendetta. Actually, they got us our first ever gig, and yeah, it was brilliant. Nervous as hell, but yeah, it was good.
So then you compare it to obviously your last gig at
Yeah.
the rugby club. Did you still have the nerves that night? Even though you knew you were
Um,
headlining and you knew that everyone was coming to see you guys, was there still that nerves?
do you know what? That night, normally you get a bit nervous, obviously, but that night I was quite confident, and I was really up for it because it's our first hometown gig. So I didn't have any nerves that night.
Yeah.
I just got up there and had fun. You know, I was looking forward to that. So yeah, yeah,
It was one of the best performances I've ever seen you play. It was amazing.
yeah. Thank you.
The whole night was. I mean, all three, even Death Warrant, were amazing as well, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah. I love
Yeah,
Death Row, and they're good
yeah,
guys as well.
very, very good. So obviously the pandemic's hit us, and we're all itching to go to gigs, and you guys are itching to play. But how do you think the underground scene will be when we open up? Do you think it's now time for um, local venues to start putting on more local bands, going forwards?
I I think so, yeah, and I hope so. I think the pubs and the venues that do manage to get through this are going to want to hit it hard, and I think there's a lot of bands in this scene now that are itching. I think when we're allowed to, it's going to explode. I think everyone's going to hit it hard. you know, let's get it back quick as possible. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. So, your first recording, obviously, when you recorded your first EP, how's
Yeah.
that changed now to recording your new stuff?
Um, my voice has progressed a lot. When we did that, I'd only been shouting for probably a year and a half or something when we recorded that, and like my voice has grown and progressed a lot since then, and I think you can hear that in the latest single as well. And I'm actually quite excited of how some of the stuff we've already recorded for the new one is coming out. Yeah, I think people are going to be surprised when you can compare it to the old one.
Cool. I'm really looking forward to it. I really am. I can just see the difference in us. You know, it's just such a more mature song. Do you get what I mean? You've sort of
Yeah,
grown
yeah,
into it.
yeah,
You know, you've become that more sort of the older guys who have been around the circuit. You know, you've learnt the trade by being the support band, by being the first band on, and getting to that level of being the headliners. Do you know,
yeah, yeah,
you've done it the right way, haven't you? You know,
yeah. That's it. You got to
and,
start from the bottom, ain't you? You
and you're
know?
all honest as well. You know, you're not there to just take people's money. It's like you're always there talking to the fans. You know, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're not in this for money. That's not about money at all, is it? It's all about here.
Definitely. I just hope the metal community will all, come together after the pandemic, and everyone just, sells out all the local venues, and we actually get a
Yeah.
local scene back. I think it's really,
I don't think it'll take much effort. I
no,
think people are itching. As soon as they let us, it'll be boom, everyone go. Yeah.
well, everyone's got loads of money, haven't they? Because they've not spent it on anything. You
Can't
know what I
spend it
mean?
on nothing. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Okay, so can you give us any little snippets of obviously the new album at all? Anything, any sort of little hints of
Uh,
new tracks or anything, or what did
I,
we
I'm gonna I'm
expect?
gonna tell you the title.
Okay.
And so the title of the EP is called This Hate.
Ooh,
And it's going to be 4 tracks, and there's going to be something hidden. And that's all I'm saying.
brilliant. That's such a great title. Where did that come from?
Um, it's come from here. This
Yeah,
hate for all the shit I see around me, you know.
definitely.
Um,
Yeah, man. A
yeah,
big thank
that's
you to everyone.
you'll hear it in the songs that are on there.
I can hear it in us. It's really relevant to what everyone thinks. Everyone's going through some sort of, you know, mental health crisis or whatever. That's the thing. Especially at the moment with everything that's going on, people feel so alone. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
So you've got some really cool backing from In the Demon Records in the US.
yes,
That's quite cool. How did that all
yeah.
come about?
That's through you actually, you diamond. It's I don't know, Mush and Sid and Jules. They're really cool people, and like
Yeah.
just seem to have clicked with them. Um,
It's
they
great
want to help.
exposure for you guys as well in the US, isn't it? Because even if you can get onto one radio station in the US, that's you know own your life in America. Wow, that's
Yeah, I know.
mental.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's pretty cool.
It's so awesome. You know.
Yeah,
And this is the whole idea that we've got, with our Battle of the Bands and everything. We're trying to expose bands all over the world, like with our France the Planet show. He's in South Africa, but he's got a reach all over Europe, do you know?
yeah,
So I
yeah,
send him in songs and he plays them, and I just think that's amazing. If someone in Germany's never heard of Own Your Life and then they hear one of your tracks, how cool is that?
yeah. It's crazy. Yeah,
It's cool, isn't it? You
yeah.
know?
It's
it was like I'd done a section on the metal around the world from Iran, and in the Iranian culture, that's just like against the law to do heavy metal and everything.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, some bands have been arrested and everything. It's so bad, and I've done a big
Wow.
write up on that. But that made me more like, you know, want to expose these bands and really give them a bit of like forefront. And like, there's now a band called Dire Dispraise who are just like, we promote them all the time. They've been on, you know, France the Planet. They're just it's so cool. And then I'm having other bands from Iran now saying, oh, you know, we love what you've done with Dire Dispraise. You know, it's really hard for us to do, you know, stuff like this in Iran because of all the censorship. Can you help us get it out there? And this is what it's all about, isn't it? Getting it out there.
That's cool.
Everywhere, globally.
Yeah.
So, if you could share the stage with any band or any artist from any era, who would it be?
Sick Fiddle and Raised Fist.
Really? Cool.
Yeah.
Do you know who I think you'd be really good with? Phil Anselmo from Pantera.
Okay, yeah.
We've both got the same sort of stage presence, you know?
Oh, cool,
Sam,
really? Yeah, that's nice.
Sam beating the chest with the microphone, you know?
Yeah, that'd be sick.
So what advice have you got for young musicians? Obviously, you know my son, he started off sort of coming to gigs at a younger age. He's now, you know, turned into, you know, being a musician. What advice have you got for, you know, young musicians coming up in the metal world?
I'd say just don't give up. No matter what, keep going. Like, you will play to shows where there's two people there or one person. Do you know what I mean? You just keep going, keep putting the work in. That's all you got to do. Keep going.
Probably get no money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have your van break down on the motorway and have to walk 20 miles to
exactly. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You just got to keep doing it. That's all you can do, isn't it? You know, if that's what you really want to do, like, just don't give up.
It's some really cool advice. It really is. So is there anything that you would like to promote yourself while we're on? Anything, any new projects that you're doing? Anything?
No, apart from Chris's clothing label, I Hate Most People. Go check that out on Facebook. That's about it, really. I can't really think of anything else. I want to just keep your eyes up for our next EP when we're allowed to do it.
Cool. So we're sort of coming to the end, but I want to do a little bit of a different spin on this. So this is like Metal Lab quick fire questions. So I'm going to give you two sort of comparisons, and I want you to give me one and tell me a little bit why you chose that.
Okay. Right.
So the first one is Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's tough. Fuck. Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones? It's got to be Game of Thrones because there's sex in it, isn't it? Surely.
Okay, this is a good one. Breakdown or sing along?
Breakdown.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Screams or growls?
Growls.
What, all the time?
Yeah. I don't like screaming. I'm not into that.
Terminator or Rocky?
Terminator, 100%.
All the way. Merchandise or streetwear?
Merchandise.
Alien or Predator?
Oh, Predator.
This is going to be a tough one for you. Skateboarding or BMXing?
BMXing. As always, BMX. Yeah.
And the last one, past or future?
Future.
Because?
Can't change the past.
Exactly. Cool. Is there any shout outs you want to give tonight, Sam? Because obviously I know that a lot of people follow you guys.
Shout out to the other band members. Shout out to Vendetta, Death Warrant, Killer Corp. Fucking hell, I'm probably gonna forget someone, but yeah, just anyone we've ever played with. Yeah.
Awesome. That's cool, man. Well, thank you very much for your time, Sam. It's been
No
absolute
worries, pleasure.
And
Nice one.
stay safe and stay metal.
Yeah, you know it.
Thank you.
Take care. Cheers.
Sam. Bye bye.
Nice one.